So today what we're going to do is we're just going to continue on example number 1, which we started yesterday. And as you can see, it's quite lengthy, right? It's quite lengthy on the exam, because I know you're kind of thinking about the exam. This took about like 20 minutes just to do this part here. It's we are going to try not to give you a crazy question like this one, okay? Just because it's so much layers to it. Anyways, pencil. We are in the part where we also not just figure out the area, the tiles, but we also need to put the baseboard, and baseboard is used to around the perimeter of the shape. So in this particular case, we figured out, oh well, this is 40, this is 15. Yesterday we figured out this missing information, which is 21. This one is 10, this is 19. And then we figured out this other missing information, we said that's 25. So the part B now, which is on perimeter. Okay, I ran out of room, so I'm just gonna do it over here. So example 1, that's on page 22. Now, because we're wanted to figure out the baseboard or amount of baseboard that we need to put around this room, the perimeter would be 40 plus 15 plus 21 plus 10 plus 19 plus 25. So these are the sides around that shape, right? So how many sides do I have in here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. 6 sides, right? I'll put it up again. Don't worry. How many sides does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 sides that we got to add up together. Okay. So what is the perimeter here? So perimeter is whatever that is. The perimeter that I got is 130. So 130, and this is all in feet. 130 feet. Now because it's 130 feet, that's just enough to put it around the shape. Just enough to put it around the shape. But they said here on our instruction, we have to put a little bit extra, right? Just in case there's a cutting and some mistakes, right? It says here, we need to purchase 10% more. 10% more. So this is the 100%, right? 100% is 130 feet, but we want 10% more. We need 10% more. So 100% plus 10% more. So that's going to give us 110%. So 110%, if we change that into a decimal, it's going to be 110 divided by 100. That's 1.1. So that's where that 1.1 came from. So amount of baseboard, okay, that we need is 130 times 110% more, so times it by 1.1, That's gonna give us 143 feet. 143 feet. That's enough for the whole room and a little bit of like 10% extra. Okay, what else do we need? It says here, okay, let's see here. The baseboard costs 73 cents per linear foot. Now we have to buy a whole foot, right? Per linear foot. So how many? We're gonna need 143 feet, right? So how much would it cost for that? Now we're getting to the cost. So 143 times, how much is it? 73 cents. So 143 times 73 cents, or 0.73, is gonna get us $104.39. 104.39. Okay, but we also have to include the tax. So including the tax now, including the tax, or taxes, because it's 12%, right? So what are we gonna do? Times 1.12. It's gonna give us $116.92. $116.92. Okay, so yesterday the tiles cost, so how much would it cost altogether? Total cost. So the tile yesterday, it cost us $1,404.27, including the taxes and everything. The baseboard is $116.92. So total. $1,521. So $1,521.19. That's the total cost. Okay, total cost. Now, if this is something that we're gonna see right now, we're gonna see on the exam for sure. But this is also an extension towards grade 12. So it's nice that we're actually talking about it right now. So make sure you retain all of your booklets for next course, basically. Okay, is that good? So it's quite a bit of stuff that we're doing for that. Let's take a look at example number 2. Oh, I like this. I can't hear.
Oh, never mind, I said you. Sorry. I couldn't see the one beside the 5, and I was like, where did you get 500?
Oh, this. Oh, yeah, it's 15. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah,
No,
I
that's
should
okay, that's my bad.
should have. Yeah, it was kind of shorter than the other. 15:21. Hmm? Okay. Now we're gonna take a look at the next one. The next example, example 2. Okay, example 2. Why don't you why don't you read it right now, like example number 2, okay? Mar, you want to write it down or no? You're going to wait until later. Okay, maybe you can take a picture later. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at example number 2. Oh, this is nice. This is a real context or real way to use this information. So you want to paint the wall shown below. Most of the time, people put 2 coats of paint. Okay, that's you know, 1 coat might be good, but usually people put in double coats. So 2 coats of paint. The white areas are the door and the window, and we're not gonna paint those things. Right? Normally we paint the wall, not the door. Of course, definitely not the window because you won't be able to see. Now here's the thing, there's some information given here. So a paint covers 200 square feet per can. So each can of paint, you can only paint with 200 square feet. And then each can costs $31.99 plus taxes. Okay, so they're giving us some information in here. So you are also going to hire someone to paint, and then they're going to charge us $18 an hour plus GST only, not the tax, not both taxes, but just GST. So it's only the 5%. And then they think that they can finish a job in 1.5 hours. Okay, so there's some context there. So we're gonna have the materials, the paint, and the labor. Okay, determine the total cost to paint this wall. Okay, so how can we figure out, how can we get started with this? Any idea? Any idea?
We found the area.
Yeah, we're gonna find the area. Okay, good. We're gonna find out the area. So how can we find, remember, we're only gonna paint the gray area. So how can we find the gray area only?
I think the bold area minus
Okay, so Bin is like saying, figure out the whole area, and then minus the door and the window. Yes? Does that make sense to us, everybody? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna take those away. So let's just do that. So area of rectangle. Okay, we're gonna take, because this is a rectangle, what's the area of that? 8 by 20, or let's write down the formula first. Area is equals to length times width. So length times width, length is 20 by 8. So 20 times 8, that's 160. And area is 160 feet square, or square feet. Yes, that's okay? Good. Now we're supposed to take the area away from here. Okay, take that away. So what we're gonna do is figure out the area of the door. So area of rectangle, and this time it's the door that we want. The door. So area A is length times the width. Okay, what's the length? 2.5 times 7. 2.5 times 7. Oh, shoot. 2.5, that's not right. So 17.5. And what unit do I put in there? Feet square or square feet. Yes. Okay, good. And we have to figure out the area of the window. That's the window. And that's a circle, the circle. Okay, what's the formula that we're gonna use for the area of the circle? A equals to pi r squared. Okay, pi r squared. So it's gonna be pi times, what's the r here? Let me put this back up. What's the r? Yeah, so 2.5 we have to divide by 2, right? So that would be radius is 1.25. Yes, correct. So it would be 1.25 squared. You gotta remember to square there. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate that one. So I got 4.91. And that's also feet square. Now I haven't told you this. Sometimes we have to do some conversion. Okay. 4.91, because everything here is good because they're all in feet. They're all the same units of measurement. So that's great. Okay, so what is the area that we have to be painted? What's the area to be painted? Minus one window and door, right? So 160 minus 17.5 minus 4.91. I got 137.59. Oops. I'll squeeze in square feet there. Okay, 137.59 square feet. This is the amount of area that I need to paint with one coat. This is one coat of paint. That's that one. Now if we want to do a double coat, so this is the area for one coat. Now we need double coats. Okay, so how can we do the double coats? Times 2. So as if it's like we're painting 2 walls, right? So 137.59 times 2. Times 2. So now this is going to be 275.18 square feet. Okay, I'm going to stop right here and just do a check. Is everything that we've done here making sense to you? Yeah? Okay, so we figured out the area of the whole thing, and then we had to take away the door and a window. We did that, and then we had to double coat, so we had to double the amount. So far so good? Yeah? Okay, so now what's next? What do you think we should do next? Okay, now we're gonna try the next thing that we could figure out. Well, how many cans of paint do I need? Right? Okay, well, how do we do that? We know that one can, the question is how many cans? Cans do I need? That's what we need to figure out, right? So we know that if one can cover 200 square feet, okay, we're trying to solve a proportion type of question. One can per 200 square feet, then how many cans, so X number of cans, do I need for 275.18 square feet? So we're going to cross multiply there, right? Cross multiply. So this crosses to multiply with 1 divided by 200. And you're going to get 1.3759. Can we possibly buy 1.3759 cans? No, then this is where, okay, now here's the question. Should I round up or should I round down to 1?
Round down.
Okay. Okay. So should I just buy 1 can?
No, you can
No.
buy 2 cans.
I have to do 2 cans, right? Yeah, right. So we need to round, even though it says 1.3, we still have to round up to 2 cans.
Where the amount of 1.3759
Where did that come from? Okay, cross multiply. So this times that would be 275, because we're trying to solve for x, and then divide it by 200. So in this case, we need to round to 2 cans. Okay, well, 2 cans. So how many, now we figured out how many cans we need. What's the next thing that we gotta do? Huh? The labor? Oh, okay. We could do that also, yeah, maybe in a few minutes. What other things that we need to do?
And how many?
Because we need to figure out the total cost. So we will figure out how much 2 cans is gonna cost us, right? So 2 cans, and then we gotta pay the taxes, right? So 2 cans. So 2 times, how much is a can? 31.99. Can I continue on with this? I'm not breaking up the thing. So 2 cans, $31.99 a piece, and then times it by 1.12. Is that okay? Or are you kind of like, what's going on in here? You're okay?
No, there's too many steps.
Or do you want to do it separately?
Why are you times it by 1.12?
Taxes. Yeah. Okay, well, let's figure that out first. Let's erase this, okay? Erase that one first. Okay, so how much would that be? So 2 times $31.99, it's $63.98. Okay, but then we have to put taxes, so $63.98 times 1.12. Ooh, 1.12. So $71.66. Where did the 1.12 come from? Okay, that's a tax. Okay, let's explain that in a second. Yeah, where did that 1.12 come from? Okay, so every time we buy something, we have to pay GST and PST, right? So how much is the GST? Is 5%. PST is 7%.
Now we only have to pay just GST.
Yeah, which we will see later. Now, together, that's the 12% tax, right? So what we have to pay for, okay, let's say we want to pay for the item. We're going to pay 100% of the value of the item, which is the paint, 100% of the price of the paint, and then plus we also have to pay the 12% tax that goes along with that, right? So we're really paying for 112% of the value of the whole thing. So that gives us 112%. Now 112%, the word percent means per 100, right? So we're really paying 112 per 100. So it's 1.12. So that's where your 1.12 came from. So when you're buying something and you want to know how much it's going to cost with taxes, you just go times 1.12. Right? 1.12. Yeah, start telling your kids you have to pay taxes. Okay, good? Okay, I'll give this to you since you asked that question. Okay, good. Now, I think we're ready for the labor piece. Okay, this is such a long question. We are hiring somebody to paint the wall. Can I squeeze it in here? Let's see if I can squeeze it in here. Labor. It's gonna cost $18 times 1.5 hours. So how much is that? Yeah, 27. $27. Oh, that's a cheap labor. $27. Okay. Now, this one here, we have to put GST. How much is the GST? Yeah. So we're paying 100% for the labor and then another 5%. So that's going to be timesing it by 1.05. Right? And if you're wondering where did that 1.05 came from? 100% of the value of the labor plus the 5%, that gives us 105%, and the word percent means per 100, so 105 per 100, 1.05. Okay, clear? So how much is that one? Times 1.05, so it's gonna cost $28.35. This is like the total labor, including one tax. Have we finished everything? Are we done everything?
No, butcher eating and how many hours?
Exactly. So now we figured out how much it costs for the labor and how much it costs for the paint. So total cost. So I'm just gonna put it over here. Total cost. Exactly. So labor is $28.35 and the paint is $71.66. Oh, it's gonna cost us $100 and a penny. Now if you're paying with cash, it's gonna be $100 because there's no more penny. Okay? Good? Does that make sense? Like we took our time to actually write it down. Okay, so this is the final answer.
Can I just see
Down, like up at the bottom. I think that's it. Okay, what do you think about, yeah, what do you think about that one?
GST to the labor, how come we have to do a 1.05 instead of just,
Oh,
or,
it's this one. Because we have to pay 100% of the labor amount, which is $27, right? And then the 5 extra percent, so that makes it 105. And the word percent means per 100, so per 100. Good. Okay. I hope you're taking a little bit of time in after school to go through some of the questions on the booklet. And is it okay if we do lesson 5? We're not gonna finish the lesson 5, but we'll get that at least one started. Okay? Did everybody pick up lesson 5? If you didn't, come there at the front. Up. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you have 1 minute?
1 minute.
Yeah. And the minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Up, I want to.
Oh, 1 up. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, is everyone done? Can I put it away? Okay, good. So, I'm gonna ask you to maybe try this at home, assignment 4. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time left, so I am hoping that you are taking the time to do that. Okay, we're gonna move on to lesson 5. So, everything that we've done in lesson 2, 3, and 4 are on 1 dimension or 2-dimensional figure, right? So perimeter and an area. Now we're gonna take a look at the 3-dimensional shape, 3-dimensional figures. So let's read it first. So in the previous lesson, you have looked at the linear measurements and 2-dimensional measurements. 2D measurement shapes are great when you're working with something flat, like painting the wall. But most of the real life stuff are 3D. The 3D shape has 3 dimensions, length, width, and depth or height. With 2D shape, the 3 dimension will have different names. So might be height, for example. The labels are of the less importance learning how to incorporate depth into the measurement in the point of this lesson. So surface area. Do you know what shape this is called? Cylinder. You see a lot of cylinder around here, like water bottles are cylinder, can of soup is cylinder, right? Cylinders. So, interesting. Oh, there we go. This is a cylinder. Cylinder. This is a cylinder. So, surface area is exactly the same thing as area. Can you see the word area? Area means surfaces. What? Now, if you take a look at this piece, how many surfaces does it have? The surfaces means a flat surface. What are the flat surfaces for this? What?
Two.
2? Just 2? 3? 2? Okay, maybe 3. Okay, explain it. So, actually 3. Okay, because you have the top circle, bottom circle, and then the actual cylinder shape, right? It's like flat like this. So it has like three parts in this one. Okay. Let's take a look at, what do you call this one? Okay, rectangle. Rectangle is a flat 2D. This one is very close. It's called rectangular prism. How many surfaces does this have?
4.
4? 8? 6?
4.
Okay, so some people say 4.
Yeah, I say 4.
Some people say 6. Some people say 8. Okay. Now you're trying to like imagine, right? Okay, tell me. Some people said 6. Yeah, it's the answer is 6. Because what are the top bottom, right? Top bottom, front and back, left and right, right? So when I open this up, yeah, there are 6 parts to this one. Okay, good. What do you call this one? Cone. Okay, I'm gonna ask you, how many parts does this have? How? 3, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. You're like 2. And here's the 2. Okay. Yeah, the circle at the bottom, if there is a bottom, right? And then the cone shape. So two parts. Sphere. One whole thing right here, right? So it's just, the whole surface of the ball, what you can touch on the outside. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this part, okay? I know that you have this part in here. Great. Okay. This formula sheet will be given to you, so you do not write this on your formula sheet anymore. Okay? So this formula sheet, don't even bother writing it down. Don't waste your time. So rectangular prism, rectangular solid. Okay. So we said top or bottom. Well, top and bottom, that's the length and the width. And the top and the bottom are exactly the same area, right? Can you imagine that? The top area and the bottom area are exactly the same. So here you have times 2. Can you see that? 2 length and width, but it's times 2 because that's the top and the bottom. The front, the back, the front and the back are exactly the same. So the front area here is length times height. Length times height. And then it's multiplied by 2 because that's the front part. And then the back part. Is that okay? And then the left side and right side, that's this part here. That's, what's this one? Width times the height. Width and height. Width and height. And then it's again times 2 because the 2 sides, left and right sides, are exactly the same. Okay. So that's, this whole thing is the formula for surface area of the whole rectangular prism. Now what about this one? Sphere. So sphere is, like we said, it's just pretty much one surface, right? That's the whole thing. So it's 4 pi r squared. That's a formula for the whole thing. Cone. We said there are 2 parts of the cone. The fan part is pi RL. Some formula sheet, it says pi RS, the slant, but this one here, they put L. That's okay. And then the bottom, which is a circle, it's pi r squared, right? That's a circle area formula. So the whole thing is that. Cylinder. Cylinder. The side of the cylinder, you know, this part here that kind of circles around, that's 2 pi r h. And then the top and bottom are two circles, pi r squared. So this is one circle, but then you see that there's a 2 at the front. The reason why there's 2 at the front is because there is a top circle and a bottom circle. Yeah. Pyramid. Oh, I didn't show you the pyramid. 2BS. So B as in the base, and then S is a slant. And then the bottom is a square. So B squared. So the whole thing is B squared plus 2BS. Okay, I want, and then this is a triangular prism. Okay, this reminds me of like the chocolate Toblerone, or this reminds me of a tent, right? So base times height divided by 2, but there's front and the back, B times H, and then A, B, and C times the L. That talks about the three rectangles along around. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop right here. Tomorrow we will continue talking about this. We're gonna talk about the difference between surface area and volume. I haven't talked about the volume yet. We'll talk about the volume formula, and then we're gonna dive right into the examples, which is not quite a lot. Okay. So I'm pausing right here, give you a little bit of a breather. So I'll see you all tomorrow.